Hey guys, today I'm going to be taking a look at this remote control four-wheel drive buggy by JJRC. It's called the Speed Runner here. As you can see on the box, it says the Speed Runner 1/12 scale four-wheel drive buggy. The model number for it is the Q46 here is the actual model number. It comes in blue and it comes in red. So pretty basic buggy. Here the box is kind of coming undone on me there. But you know, it's got a nice hard plastic shell on it, like a buggy top. Seems to be rather well built. It's just spring shocks here on the back. And it's kind of a one-piece independent here in the back. You know, it's not the I don't like that design too much. The other JJRC Madman I have has that similar design, but the front here is much more fully independent. Seems to be made out of decent plastic. It's got metal dog bones inside of here, so that's good. They're not going to bust. I believe it's got full ball bearings, and it's got I might be able to see it down here. It's going to be tough to get it in my camera, but there's a big 540 brushed motor in here. That's very nice because that's going to have a lot of power, and it's got good speed. I think it's rated in the upper. I think it was, you know, in the mid 20s miles per hour. I think it's probably reasonable. It probably does do, you know, 25 miles per hour. It's also got headlights here that come on in the front. These front headlights light up white LEDs, and it's got this rack of 4 white LEDs on top of the roof here that also light up. So that's pretty cool, especially for night driving. So, you know, pretty neat design and look to the car. It's also got this, you know, this drive shaft that goes to the front for the four-wheel drive. You can see all the wheels move. Nice metal parts there that will not break. Now there's some plastic here in the middle. This I think may just be a sleeve that goes around the metal shaft, so I'm not 100% sure if that is all plastic or if that's just a sleeve over to protect it. I don't know. I can't tell you for certain there. It's got this metal support brace here. So overall the build quality seems to be pretty reasonable. It's got your on and off switch here. So pretty neat buggy and pretty quick, but it doesn't mean that it isn't without some faults. As you can probably imagine, it's a bit top heavy, so it rolls over extremely easy. I mean, you almost have to come to complete stop. So this is not something you're going to be able to race on a racetrack and be turning quick and racing. It's going to roll over every time. You'll see in a driver view whenever I get to that. I've not filmed the driver view yet, but I'm certain it's going to roll over on me in a driver view. So you got to come to very slow stops, almost a stop and then turn, and then, you know, turn without rolling it over. So it's just because it's too top heavy. You might be able to see there's a little bit of road rash here on the lights from rolling it over. So that's a bit unfortunate, but this design, that's not unexpected. I expected it would roll over easy, but I didn't expect it to roll over that easily. It comes with a really nice size, large 3000 milliamp 2S lithium ion battery. This is like nearly, if not exact, you know, the same dimensions as the other JJRC batteries that I've used in some of the other buggies, but this is twice the capacity. So 3000 milliamp. The other ones that I've seen of this dimensions are just 1500. So you're gonna have a very long run time out of this. I think 25 to 30 minutes would not be unreasonable if it really is 3000. I use it as a Dean's plug. I did use my hobby grade charger, and I forgot to look to see what it said, how much capacity it actually put into it. So I don't know if 3000 is super accurate, but even if it's, you know, 2500, in reality that's still considerably more than the other batteries that JJRC typically ships with these. So very nice long run time you're going to get out of this. You know, it just uses a wall charger. This has a US plug adapter on it from the European, and it goes into the balance plug. This is probably going to take 3 hours to charge it up, because if it's really 3000 milliamp, that's going to take a long time to charge. But you know, on the bonus, you're going to get a long run time, which makes it a little easier to swallow when you have to wait that long for it to charge. But you know, as I always say, with something that has a hobby grade plug like this, you know, like a Dean's plug, you know, get yourself a hobby grade charger. Even if it's an IMAX clone, get something like that that's going to let you charge this thing up, you know, in well under an hour. So the controller it comes with here is I got a, you know, foam grip. That's nice. I always like that very basic controller. I think it takes 4 AA batteries. On and off switch, I think it's your bind button. It says steering dual rates and steering trim. That is not correct. This is your steering trim on the left, and this is your throttle trim on the right. So that confused me when I first took it out for a test drive. I thought this was, you know, going to do my driving radius, and it was making my steering go. I was going all over the place. I couldn't keep it in a straight line, and then I wondered why all of a sudden it was going real slow. Well, it's because I had the throttle trim way down. So just being mindful of that. Otherwise, it's pretty quick, brakes nicely. It does not flip on me whenever I brake, at least in the few times I slammed the brakes on, so that's good. But you're gonna roll it very easily, like I said. And it comes with just a Phillips screwdriver, you know, if you need to take off part of the top. It comes with one of these hex wrench, you know, 4-in-1 wrenches, like Tamaya used to always include with their car years ago, though I don't, this is just plastic and not metal. That'd be mostly to take these wheels off, you know, if you need to take the wheels off and do a repair or clean the ball bearings or something like that. So overall, a pretty basic car, long run time, very fast, but rolls over very easily, and is very, very bouncy going through the grass and over rough surfaces because of the suspension. You can see, look how bouncy that is. So it's going to bounce. If you hit enough bumps, it's just going to flip itself over even without turning abruptly because it's just so bouncy. So I think that covers everything we need to cover here. Oh, I guess I should show you the battery does mount here in the back. So you pull these cotter pins out, lift it up, and this is where your battery goes, and then plugs into the Dean's plug up under here. So I pulled it out so you could see the actual battery. So I do like where the battery mounts. It's very, very easy to change the battery. Just put those in and then stick your cotter pins in here on the sides, and you're good to go. So you see how easy that was. Look at that. And you're ready to go. All right, so I think that covers everything on the car. So let's move along now to the driver view. Okay guys, I have the JJRC Speedrunner Buggy outside of my house here. I'm going to take it for a quick test drive just in front of the house to give you guys an idea the speed of it. And you know, it's like I said, it's a little bit top heavy, so it does flip very easily. I'll show you that in the grass too. But here's those headlights and the lights on top of the roof. Hopefully that'll show up. I'll turn it into the garage where it's a little darker. Hopefully you can see these lights. I really like those headlights. Those are sharp and they look really cool, I'm sure, at nighttime as well. Let's go ahead and take it out and see how it runs. Let me go ahead and throw it down on the ground and grab my controller. Let's take it out. It's pretty quick. That 540 brush motor definitely gives it some speed. But it's awfully bouncy. And that's, you know, I think, you know, if it had oil-filled shocks, that certainly would help. It's also the design too. You know, that one piece back rear end with each independent shock is not as good of a system as the front independent suspension. So that makes it also a little bit bouncy. Got a little break in the wind here. I'll step out here. It's trying to keep the wind noise out of my mic. It's pretty good wind gust today. Oh, and so it just flips very, very easily. So that's the biggest issue I have with this car, is how much it flips. And there's really not much you're going to be able to do about that. Even if you tried to swap it to oil-filled shocks, it's just a design. But it seems to be rather well made, so rolling it over and stuff doesn't seem to really be a huge deal. It's just a matter of, do you want to continually have to flip it back onto its wheels. I'll kind of show you here on the pavement as I'm moving around here, trying to step back to the edge of my garage to get out of the wind. You can see, watch, see, it rolls right over. So anytime you try to steer this really hard, you're gonna roll it, see? Now sometimes it'll get back on its wheels like that. Something else I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna mention again too, just be mindful if you skip past the table view that you know that the left here is your steering trim and the right is your throttle trim. It says steering dual rates and steering trim. That is not correct. there is no steering limiter on it. It's always all the way. You can't limit how much it turns, which is a bit unfortunate because on this particular buggy, you really need to narrow its steering radius because it flips so easily. Even though it's not going to handle as well, it just flips too easily. So actually steering in dual rates actually would be helpful on this buggy. You'd have a really big wide turn, but at least it would not flip over on you. Especially if you have it out 50, 100 meters away from you, and the car flips, you got to walk all the way out there to put it back on its wheels. Where if you could reduce the steering radius, then you'd at least be able to keep it on its wheels easier. And you could drive it more aggressively when you're turning. So that's why I'm just taking it easy on these turns. Oh, back on the wheels, perfect. It's a fun little buggy overall. I mean, it's got pretty good power. I think it has sufficient speed. You know, let's do a speed run there. That's pretty quick actually for a brushed motor. You know, the 2S lithium ion definitely helps give it some boost. You could also obviously throw a 2S lipo pack in there. Lipo pack's gonna probably give you a little more acceleration, a little more punch than a lithium ion. There's plenty of room in that battery bay behind the spare tire to put a lipo pack in there. So very easily could, because you know, so small 2S lipo with the Dean's connector is pretty common. Let's get this weed. There's a piece of a plant here stuck to it. There we go. Let's show how it brakes. Whoa! Now my driveway being uphill, going downhill, and turn like that, it makes it even easier for it to roll over. Oh, it just rolls over so easily. There's the braking. So as you can see, it brakes pretty good, and it doesn't roll over. It's enough, you know, it's designed where it doesn't roll over real easy. See, it brakes fine, but boy, it sure will flip. It is very, very bouncy. But like I say, so far I can say that it seems to take the rollovers and stuff fine. Nothing's breaking, so it's well built. A lot of metal parts on it, and I'm always a fan of metal, you know. Just gotta take those turns like that really easy. I said, it brakes fine. It's not going to be a good jumper because of the way it flips. This would be good in, you know, sand, you know, driving around in the dirt. Probably do okay in, you know, a small amount of snow. It doesn't say anything about being waterproof, so I would not get it super wet. Probably do okay in a little light rain and a little bit of snow, but I wouldn't drive it through a bunch of deep puddles of water or something like that. You might, won't hurt the motor, but you might, I think I rolled it over again. You might blow out the ESC on it. So it's behind my mailbox here. Yeah, it's on its side again. I notice a lot of these cars, that are these buggies of this design, they all, you know, if they're fast and they're not like a rock crawler or something, they roll over very easily. My Fayou, I think it's FY07 or 03, I forget which one. That had a brushless motor, very fast, but it was built like this too. It rolled over very easily also. So part of it's just the design of the buggy. It's just has a high center of gravity, and it just rolls over very, very easily. Oh! I think something just oh no, I just busted off the front. Oh well, that's funny. I just busted off the lights. You can see it just really took off on me. So like I said, it's very, very bouncy. Well, this certainly can be glued back and repaired, but man, that's kind of unfortunate that busted on the top. A fast buggy, you know, the rolling over is obviously a huge issue with this car. As you can see, if this busted, and I'm laughing because, I mean, it's unfortunate. I'm not really happy about it, but you just can't take any jumps. It rolls too easy and bounces around, and you're gonna bust something like I just did. So in the end, I don't know. I mean, if you're okay with the balance of this, and you just want to drive this thing as a leisurely car, you know, and you're careful with it, and you know, you're probably okay. If you are going to give this to a kid who's going to floor it and drive it around, no, it's going to bust. As you can see, I was trying to show you what it would do if you drove it full speed, which most people are going to want to do. It didn't handle that jump well at all. So in the end, this guy's busted. Can be repaired, but kind of unfortunate. It just shattered that plastic. So I don't know, guys. There's better options out there than this, but if you really like this and you drive it carefully, it's going to be okay. But I mean, who wants to do that, right? All right, guys, well, that's the end of a crazy review. Hope you guys enjoyed that review and at least got a laugh out of it. We got a couple other things coming along here to review, so stay tuned for that, and hope everybody has a good day. See you later.
The power of the dark side.